Welcome to War Bios. I'm your host, General Biography. Today, we're going to explore the fascinating life of Erich von Manstein, one of the most brilliant and complex military minds of the 20th century. Born on November 24, 1887, in Berlin, Germany, Manstein's early life was marked by a unique blend of nobility, intellectual curiosity, and a strong sense of duty. As we delve into Manstein's formative years, it's essential to understand the historical context in which he grew up. The late 19th and early 20th centuries were a time of great change and upheaval in Europe, with the rise of nationalism, imperialism, and militarism. Germany, under the leadership of Otto von Bismarck, was rapidly industrializing and expanding its military capabilities. Manstein's family was part of the Prussian nobility, with a long history of military service. His father, Eduard von Manstein, was a major in the German army, and his mother, Helene von Lohen, came from a family of minor nobles. The young Erich was raised in a traditional conservative household where discipline, duty, and loyalty were deeply ingrained. Growing up in Berlin, Manstein was surrounded by the sights and sounds of a bustling city. He spent his childhood playing in the city's parks and gardens, exploring the nearby forests, and visiting the famous museums and cultural institutions. His family's home, a large townhouse on the outskirts of Berlin, was filled with books, music, and lively discussions about politics, history, and philosophy. Manstein's education began at the age of 6, when he started attending a local elementary school. He quickly demonstrated a keen intellect and a passion for learning, particularly in subjects like mathematics, geography, and history. In 1899, he entered the Prussian Cadet Corps, an elite military academy that trained the next generation of officers. The Cadet Corps was known for its strict discipline and rigorous training, where young men were taught the skills and values necessary to become effective leaders on the battlefield. During his time at the Cadet Corps, Manstein excelled in his studies, particularly in tactics, strategy, and military history. He was deeply influenced by the writings of Karl von Clausewitz, the famous Prussian military strategist, and he developed a strong appreciation for the importance of mobility, surprise, and decisive action on the battlefield. In 1906, Manstein graduated from the Cadet Corps and was commissioned as a lieutenant in the German army. He was assigned to the 3rd Foot Guards Regiment, an elite unit known for its discipline and esprit de corps. Over the next few years, Manstein served in various postings, including a stint as a staff officer in the German General Staff. As we explore Manstein's early life, it becomes clear that he was shaped by a unique combination of intellectual curiosity, strategic brilliance, and a strong sense of duty. His experiences at the Cadet Corps, his readings of Clausewitz, and his early years as a junior officer all contributed to his development as a military leader. As Germany launched its invasion of Poland in September 1939, Manstein, then a major general, played a crucial role in planning the campaign. He served as the chief of staff to General Gerd von Rundstedt, commander of Army Group South, and was instrumental in developing the strategy that would ultimately lead to the capture of Warsaw. Manstein's expertise in mobility and logistics proved invaluable, as he coordinated the movement of troops and supplies across the Polish countryside. In 1940, Manstein was appointed Chief of Staff to General von Rundstedt's Army Group A, which was tasked with executing the daring plan to invade France through the Ardennes forest. Manstein's contributions to the planning process were significant, as he helped to refine the strategy and ensure that the necessary resources were in place. The successful execution of the plan, known as the Schnitt, or sickle cut, caught the French and British armies off guard, leading to a swift and decisive German victory. As the war turned to the Eastern Front, Manstein found himself at the forefront of the fighting. In 1941, he was appointed commander of the 56th Panzer Corps, which played a key role in the invasion of the Soviet Union. Manstein's corps was instrumental in the capture of the city of Dnipropetrovsk, and he later led his troops in the Battle of Sevastopol, where they fought against fierce Soviet resistance. In 1942, Manstein was promoted to Colonel General and appointed commander of the 11th Army, which was tasked with capturing the strategic port city of Leningrad. Although the siege of Leningrad would ultimately prove unsuccessful, Manstein's leadership and tactical prowess earned him widespread recognition, including the award of the Knight's Cross with oak leaves. One of Manstein's most notable achievements during this period was his masterful defense of the Crimea in 1942. As commander of the 11th Army, he was tasked with holding the peninsula against a massive Soviet counterattack. Despite being outnumbered and outgunned, Manstein's forces managed to repel the Soviet assault, inflicting heavy casualties on the enemy. The successful defense of the Crimea marked a significant turning point in the war on the Eastern Front, as it prevented the Soviets from gaining control of the strategic peninsula. In 1943, Manstein achieved another notable victory at the Battle of Kharkov, where his forces launched a bold counterattack against the Soviet Sixth Army. The battle was a masterpiece of mobile warfare, as Manstein's troops exploited weaknesses in the Soviet lines and pushed deep into enemy territory. The capture of Kharkov marked a significant morale boost for the German army, and it cemented Manstein's reputation as one of the most brilliant commanders of the war. Throughout his career, Manstein was known for his intellectual curiosity and his ability to think critically about complex military problems. He was a prolific writer and correspondent, and his letters and memoirs provide valuable insights into his thoughts on strategy, tactics, and leadership. Despite his many successes, however, Manstein was not without his flaws. He could be hot-tempered and impulsive at times, and his relationships with other senior officers were often strained. As we explore Manstein's remarkable achievements during World War II, it becomes clear that he was driven by a complex mix of motivations. On the one hand, he was deeply committed to his duty as a soldier and a patriot, and he believed strongly in the importance of defending Germany against its enemies. On the other hand, he was also driven by a desire for recognition and respect, and he was fiercely ambitious in his pursuit of military glory. Following the end of World War II, Manstein was taken into custody by the British and put on trial for war crimes at the Hamburg Curio House in 1949. The trial was a landmark event, as it was one of the first times that senior German officers were held accountable for their actions during the war. Manstein's defense team argued that he had acted within the bounds of military necessity and that many of the atrocities committed on the Eastern Front were beyond his control. However, the prosecution presented evidence of Manstein's involvement in the issuance of orders that led to the mistreatment and killing of Soviet prisoners of war and civilians. After a lengthy trial, Manstein was found guilty on 9 counts, including the maltreatment of prisoners of war and the deportation of Jews. In 1949, Manstein was sentenced to 18 years imprisonment, but due to ill health and international pressure, he was released from prison in 1953 after serving only 4 years. Upon his release, Manstein retired to a quiet life in Bavaria, where he devoted himself to writing his memoirs, Verloren Siege, or Lost Victories, which would become a classic of military literature. Despite the controversies surrounding his wartime record, Manstein's memoirs offer invaluable insights into the strategic and tactical decisions made during World War II. His writings provide a unique perspective on the complexities of modern warfare and the challenges faced by military commanders in making difficult ethical choices under extreme conditions. Today, Manstein's legacy as a military commander continues to be debated among historians and scholars. While some view him as one of the greatest generals of all time, others see him as a symbol of the German army's complicity in Nazi atrocities. Nevertheless, his contributions to the development of modern military strategy and tactics remain significant, and his ideas continue to influence military thinking around the world. That's all for today's War Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, I'm General Biography reminding you to keep marching toward victory.